Good afternoon. My name is Conchetta Brevard. I'm currently a registered dental hygienist, finalizing my Master's of Public Health and Concentration of Global Health here at Liberty University, and I'm going to present to you my practicum experience here at Liberty University. Next slide. First, I will discuss professional overview. Public health professionals work in various sectors promoting health, wellness, and public health issues. These duties include research, programs, prevention, advocacy, and health equity. Next slide. Next, I will discuss the practicum purpose. The purpose was the development of health education materials on high blood pressure. This enabled the Ministry of Health and Environment of Curacao to promote awareness alongside community health workers for adults 18 to 69 years old who reside in Wilmstead, Curacao. Next slide. Next, we'll discuss the design and methods of the practicum program. First, the project requirements were project management principles, application of public health approach to health issues. These include identifying public health problems, conducting literature review to define the public health problem, and developing and applying a project intervention, and then communicating finding via practicum project paper and brochure. The next slide, we will discuss the accomplishments. Some of the accomplishments or the MPH core competencies achieved. These competencies included evidence-based approaches to public health and healthcare systems, planning and management to promote health, communication, and systems thinking. Next slide. Next, I will discuss some of the lessons learned professionally. Professionally, we conducted literature review to develop knowledge needed for the program topic. Next, we identified sources and materials needed to develop the health education materials. Next, identified the materials and resources for intervention for public health, for the health education program, applied theoretical framework of health belief model to guide the development of health education material. Also designed population-based program by developing course content and formats for health education materials. Also communicated to audience appropriate public health content through written materials such as the health education brochure. Also established a pilot test group. The group helped to review the material for comprehension, cultural competency, and readability. Some of the lessons learned personally was world perspective. The number one lesson was expansion of worldview from the mission trip. Next was compassion. The life lesson learned was compassion for those suffering and poverty were more reality once witnessed in person. Next, I learned more about servanthood, serving the needs of others as God wants us to be a part of helping one another. Next is trusting God. The mission trip was fulfilling the will of God and citizens of Curacao that needed our help, being obedient to God's calling and going on the mission trip. Risk and courage by taking risk and reaching out to others from different cultures, language, and religion. Leadership, as I ventured beyond the norm by meeting other dental professionals in Curacao, I realized my influence to help and lead. Next, I will I will talk about another lesson learned was purpose. The short trip helped me to reveal my purpose in public health and how to integrate my current position as registered dental hygienist into the public health aspect. Some of the challenges which we were aware of but got to witness it firsthand was the environmental challenges due to the excessive heat and in some areas with limited AC, air conditioning. We did experience, or some did experience, travel fatigue caused by all-day scheduled of events. Also, some of the challenges were slightly a culture shock. There were some lifestyle differences and customs of Curacao. And also, outside from the mission trip for 698 was concerned, it was a heavy workload for Health 698 with limited time in some aspects to complete some assignments. But the professor was very, helpful and willing to help us along the way whenever we need, time to kind of get what we needed done. And also we'll talk about some of the recommendations, kind of tie into some of the challenges, but shorten the extent of hours per day with nonstop events when we're on the missions trip. Reduce travel exhaustion by allowing the first day arrival to rest and get acclimated. For this trip, especially because we came in maybe later in the day than planned, not early in the morning. So that would be a way to, recommended to help with some of the travel fatigue, and also increase the weeks for summer practicum to allow time for coursework and demands. In closing, overall, the practicum experience was incredibly fulfilling. I learned a lot about the culture of Curacao. I assisted with community health fair, developed health education materials on high blood pressure. I gave presentation to elementary students at the Ministry of Health on hand hygiene and oral hygiene practices. I learned how to make cultural foods from Curacao. The best part was taste testing all of the food. The culture was so willing to want to feed us and pour back into us as much as we poured into them, which is also an amazing part of the trip. I learned cultural dances from Curacao and performed at various locations such as nursing homes and adult special needs facility. And also we helped do a beach cleanup to remove trash from abandoned beaches. But overall, this was a phenomenal experience. I've always wanted to go on a mission trip, and being able to do this alongside of Liberty University while also helping fulfill my requirement was God sent, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity. And that's all I have. Thanks for listening to my presentation, and have a good rest of your day. Good evening. Good night.